All right. Hey guys, this is your boy Kenneth with my co-host. We got Rican Ranger and Drew Danger over here. We're doing our second episode of the podcast of The Order. And we do have a special guest here, Viking Samurai. We're going to get into some good old content with him and also ask him some great questions about martial arts, Power Rangers, if he's a Power Ranger fan like we are. We're going to get into some nerdy stuff today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over to my boy Drew, let him introduce the Viking Samurai, and we're going to get into some good questions here today.
All right, guys. Hey, Drew Danger here. I just want to say I want to welcome my brother, the Viking Samurai, not Viking Samurai, the Viking Samurai. He is a legend. He just won his first professional fight, killed it. And
nice.
You had the gold representing some Rocky Balboa there on your shorts, man, which was cool. And he is a martial art extraordinaire, the up-and-coming action star we've been waiting for 30 years. He's going to change the world. I'm telling you guys, this guy, he is the it guy, and he is a good friend and a brother in all ways, man, in Christ, in martial arts, and in life. I want to welcome the Viking Samurai.
And it's a pleasure to have you here, my friend. Ricky, do you want to say anything before we get into some questions?
What an intro, right? Crazy. Yeah, I just got put onto the channel a couple of days ago. I've been kind of consuming the content, checking it out, and definitely the real deal, bro. I was impressed by everything. So I'm digging the whole 80s vibe, the old action stars, that type of vibe, and cool channel, cool stuff. So.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah.
Yes, and we're going to make sure to get all your information so everybody can go and check out all your content on your YouTube, wherever they can find you.
Yeah.
We'll get all that from you so they can go ahead and do that for you. We will be promoting you. We will be promoting.
Thanks. And thanks for that.
No problem.
Intro, really.
So what we're going to do, before we get into our questions, we're going to let the Viking Samurai introduce himself and give us a little background about himself. Then we're going to lead in with Drew to give us some good, to start off with some good questions. So, Viking, if you don't mind, telling the audience about yourself.
Oh, hey, guys. So I'm the Viking Samurai. Started the YouTube channel back in September of 2019. And I'm a lifetime martial artist and natural bodybuilder, by the way. So I started training seriously in 1993, and I never stopped. Of course, I grew up watching the 80s and 90s action and martial arts films. Stallone, Schwarzenegger, Seagal, Van Damme, all those guys. Loved those movies. They motivated me. They inspired me. And yeah, I'm part of like the renaissance of kind of bringing these back, because the last Kumite, which you guys can pre-order on Amazon, by the way, is coming out pretty soon. Nice. June 11th in the US. It's coming out next month in Europe. And it's a throwback. It's an homage to Bloodsport and a lot of these other films like Kickboxer. I give the producer Sean David a ton of credit for putting that together. It was a passion project, and I was very happy to be invited and participate in it. And he had a couple of YouTubers involved, like the editor was Oliver Harper. And then, of course, some people don't know, but Sean David is a huge YouTuber. He covers basketball, but like the 80s and 90s basketball, like Michael Jordan, Dennis Rodman, Larry Bird. So he kind of does something similar to what I do. I'm all about the 80s, 90s action martial arts films. And he does that with basketball. He also interviews a lot of these martial art legends too. So what's really unique about my channel is I just needed a creative outlet. Like, I was working in the financial industry. I'm kind of interested in the financial industry, but also it's kind of boring. So I needed a creative outlet. So I wanted to just, create a YouTube channel and talk about my passions. And funny enough, it led to just talking about this stuff. And then people had reached out to me because they wanted to be interviewed on the channel. So for example, like I covered a specific Steven Seagal story, and there was a stuntman, Stephen Lambert, who unfortunately passed away, but that was my first interview. And he was telling the truth about that story related to Jean LaBelle. It's kind of a crazy story. But anyway, he was a witness to that. And I had signed up for like a Zoom account thinking, okay, I'll interview one guy. Sounds interesting. I want to get to the bottom of that story once and for all. And then I was going to cancel my Zoom account, but then other people was like, hey, your channel is kind of cool. I'd want to do an interview, and I want to do an interview. So I just kept the Zoom account for years, and I still interview people all the time. In fact, recently I had Kurt McKinney live on Saturday because we do live episodes at 12 o'clock Eastern time. I had Simon Reeve from Best of the Best recently. That was one of my favorite movies growing up.
Yeah, the channel's jumping for sure. I see it. Yeah, I was just on it today.
And we're glad to have you over here, a huge celebrity in his own right. So I'm happy to have you here, my friend. And you've got me to subscribe over there, as we already talked about. So I'm putting all your links in my description. So don't even worry about that. So I've got a quick question before I turn it over to Drew, because Drew got all the good martial arts questions he wants to ask. So I'm going to turn it over to him in just a second. But my question is, I wanted to know, why did you ever try out to be on Power Rangers, since you are, versed in martial arts? And if you did, why didn't they choose you? Because you would have been so good in some of the upcoming, I should say, not the past shows, but more the upcoming shows. Like, I would have said Time Force, Lightspeed Rescue.
Yeah, are you a fan? Are you a fan of Power Rangers?
That is a good question.
Well, I think everybody growing up in that era was probably a fan, because martial arts was like the thing. It was huge in the 80s and 90s. Just
how old are you? I didn't catch that.
So, I'm in my 40s now. So I grew up. I was born in 80. So I grew up. I was there for the whole thing. That whole time frame of that magical moment in martial arts. So of course I loved the Power Rangers. I watched it throughout middle school. I watched the movie. I forget what it came out, like in 93, I think.
I think it was 93, 94, somewhere along in there.
Yeah, somewhere around there. And then of course, Jason David Frank was huge in the movie, and he was a big Van Damme fan. Yeah. So that was cool. So I loved the movie. I enjoyed it. The production values of the movie, when I seen it in theater, like blew me away, because we're used to the cheaper quality show. The movie looked amazing. But after that, I wasn't as involved in it, man, because I was really just watching more of the hardcore action R movies, like with Seagal and Van Damme, and it kind of got out of the Power Rangers. So in high school, I was still going to the movie theater all the time, but I was watching Van Damme and Seagal movies. I wasn't really keeping up with Power Rangers after that. Because
I can't lie, I was a Power Ranger fan, and I'm still. Well, I was a fan all the way up until what was it? In Space. Then after In Space, I did Lightspeed, and after Lightspeed, I went to Dino Thunder, and that was kind of it until I started watching Japanese Sentai, which I actually love. But the reason why I asked you, because your martial art is so good, bro. Why did they ask you?
So the second part of the question, I went to film school. I graduated with honors. I specialized in the emphasis. You have to choose an emphasis. Mine was in screenwriting and editing, and I lived in the LA area. I was taking acting classes. I was going to auditions. It's very hard to break into the industry. So I was doing some independent stuff. I'll tell you one story specifically. It was just like the biggest turnoff, because it's very expensive to live in Southern California.
Yes, it is.
And when you're pursuing, acting, you're usually getting gigs that pay next to nothing, which is fine, because, you network, you build your experience, but you have to take time off from work. Like, to go on audition this was before Zoom. Like, Zoom helped. I could audition now if I wanted to, like, wherever I'm at. It's so much easier, but you would physically have to go down there, spend hours, take hours out of your day, and then maybe you got like 5 minutes. 5 minutes to do your thing, and there's like 1,000 other people doing their thing. So it's almost like winning the lottery in a way. And I just felt, if I'm going to break in some way, it's not going to be through the traditional audition process. So the story I was going to tell you, though, and this is why, like, I actually stopped going on auditions, because it was beyond frustrating. So, and I was doing this for a couple of years. I got something. I was going to be the main villain. I was going to be the Hong Kong hitman. And now, granted, it wasn't like a big studio film, but it was an independent martial arts film. Good role, So I auditioned. The producer and the director were there, and I was there for like an hour. I was doing my lines. I was doing all, like, my martial arts. I was doing like falls on the crash pad, everything. And they basically said, "Oh, we love you for this role. We want you as the main villain, the Hong Kong hitman." and you got the role. I was like, cool.
Man.
So, you know, like, cool, okay. But anyway, like time goes by, like literally 6 months go by. I don't hear anything. And like finally I get a call, and I forget if it was, I think it was the director. And he said, yeah, you know that movie where we wanted you to be the main villain? I was like, yeah. He said, well, the problem is one of the producers is not going to put money in it unless he can play that role. So we kind of have to give it to him just because he's got the money. I said, okay, well, that sucks. But he said, well, we want you to for something else. I was like, what? Well, you would be a guy that we would shoot, and then you would lay on the ground dead, and we just kind of shoot around you for 2 days. And I'm like, oh, no, thanks.
What?
I'm good. You know, it's like,
what?
In my head, I'm like, dude, I got like such a cool role. And then
Oh, hell no.
and people like literally walk over me. So to summarize, it just left such a bad taste in my mouth as far as like, when you finally get something, it's like, then you still don't get it. It's like, really? It's like, okay, I can't afford to just be taking off this many hours of work and pursuing something, thinking of in like saying, you know, them saying I got it, and then you still don't get it. So I was like, I'm kind of good. If the movie thing's going to work out, I'll find a different way to get in. And fast forward much later in life, I had no idea it would end up being the YouTube channel.
Man, see, and my story is kind of similar to yours because I used to do a lot of acting, and I was trying to get into the business as well. I used to fly from here to California like twice a year. I had like contacts at Gower Studios, but he's no longer there. Then I get out there, the prices, like you said, the cost of living back then in the early 2000s is astronomical. Yeah. God knows what it is today. So, and then you go on these auditions. You know, people tell you, oh, you're good. You got the, you know, we like what you got, but you're not what we're looking for. So I do understand exactly what you're talking about when it comes to that. And I've been through it. So I do know.
Now, do you write too? That's what interests me. I just want to write. I'm interested in that part.
Oh, man. I will tell you, I have an amazing screenplay. And I'll tell you why it's amazing. It's not because I wrote it. It's because I had a couple people read it. One of them, somebody who I really look up to and respect, the guy that literally wrote Bloodsport, a guy by the name of Sheldon Lettich, who also wrote and directed Lionheart and Double Impact and Only the Strong, basically some of the best martial art action films in that era. He also co-wrote Rambo 3 with Sylvester Stallone. So the reason I bring him up is because he is a guy that will just tell you how it is, and he doesn't care if he hurts your feelings. He can be abrasive. So if you wrote something and it sucked, he would say, that sucked, it's garbage. So anyway, he calls me one day on a Saturday, I remember, and he said, hey, David, I read the script. And I was a little nervous because I know he's going to tell me what he really thinks, you know, but you need that as like a writer, right? So anyway, he said, I love it. Like it's just, you hit all the points. The dialogue's great. It's good story. I care about the characters. And he said he wants to direct it, which blew me away.
Oh, wow.
So it's like, wow. And that film, by the way, is something I always wanted to change the third act. And I had an idea somewhat recently where I'm like changing it. So I think it's even better. And I do plan to have him direct it at some point in the future. And I wrote it for myself, by the way. So that's my passion project. Like a lot of people have their passion project. Like an amazing film that just came out recently. I just seen in theater last weekend, Monkey Man. That guy.
Oh yeah, the guy from Slumdog.
And directed it.
Yeah,
it's a work of art. You guys got to watch it, man. It's so cool.
I want to see that. I want to see it because I've seen the
trailers.
That's
a DC character, isn't it? Monkey King?
No. It's not related to the comic book. It is tied into like Indian mythology a little bit.
Right.
And they call it, I guess, like the Indian John Wick, you know, because it's very stylish, great fights.
Yeah.
But what I like about it most, and the sound design is phenomenal. It's what I like about it the most, which you don't get a lot in action films, especially if they're lower budget, is you don't tend to really care about the character or the cause or the why, but you really feel for this guy and you're on board, you know. It's a good classic revenge story. So, and he's a good actor. He was in Slumdog Millionaire and a bunch of other dramas. So I highly recommend it. But see, seeing something like that just further inspires me because I was brought up inspired by obviously Rocky that Sylvester Stallone wrote. I was
Right.
inspired by Good Will Hunting that Matt Damon and
But you said Bloodsport too. Bloodsport's
oh
great.
Yeah.
Bloodsport is phenomenal. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
That's
yeah,
with the
anyway,
eyes, right? Where he goes rah with the eyes, right? With the guts. That's that classic. He fights him blind. Oh man,
that
that's
is a
great.
classic
Man,
film for
I'm
sure.
telling you, I love me some martial arts because
Bloodsport's my favorite Van Damme movie. That's
now I want
the
to ask you, Viking, did you get a chance to meet or work with Jackie Chan or either Jet Li? Because I'm such a Jet Li fan. Did you ever get a chance to
Really?
meet either one of those
I
two?
like Donnie Yen. Donnie Yen's tough.
Donnie Yen is cool. I have not met, worked, or talked to those guys. I wasn't the biggest like Hong Kong film guy. I was more into like the American martial art films,
Right.
Van Damme and Seagal. However, I met Bay Logan. I interviewed Bay Logan. I actually met up with him. Funny enough, at lunch we had no, it was dinner. We had sushi. We went to a comedy club. We had some drinks. We hung out for a very long time in New York a couple months ago. And he's working on 3 projects right now.
Wow.
One of them is the third Furies movie. These are these Vietnamese martial art films with female leads. So the first 2 were successful. Netflix picked up the second one, so they're doing a third one. And he's got another one film, but then he's got one specifically that he told me about, and I read the script. It's really good. You know, it's kind of a cross between Manchurian Candidate and Born Identity, and you know, it's
I
got a
love
little
the Bourne
John Wick
movies.
in
I
there.
love them.
But I bring it up because basically, you know, he had seen the last Kumite already. He's like, dude, you did really good. And I'm not just saying that because, you know, we talk, you know, and I know you. I'm not just, you know, giving you a compliment just to give you a compliment. But anyway, long story short, there's a really cool villain in this script that I just mentioned that he wants me to play. So that would be an honor working on one of his films.
I can't wait to see it. And we will have you back to promote it when it's ready to come out. You definitely
he's
got to
hungry for
come back.
movies. He's ready. He's ready for the big
Yes.
screen.
So
yeah,
Drew,
yeah,
we see
definitely
you
got to
ready
talk
to get
about
in.
that more when shooting it, promoting it. Speaking of promotion, though, obviously you guys, like I mentioned, can pre-order The Last Kumite, but this is coming out shortly after. This is my first lead role in Bloodstorm.
Oh,
This
wow.
is a throwback. This is a kind of film like Stallone or Chuck Norris or Van Damme would have done in the 80s. Total throwback.
I used to love watching them 80 movies because I'm with you. I was born in the 80s as well. So I do know Bruce Lee and all those good martial artists back then.
I have a surprise favorite. Remember Sidekicks?
Oh, yeah. Chuck Norris and that kid, sure.
That
Yeah.
was the white ninja scene in the beginning of that movie is so iconic. I love that.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Oh, my God.
Daydreaming, right? When he comes with Chuck Norris and the 2 ninjas. I love that movie. That's an 80s movie, I think.
Man, that was a good one. Yeah.
So, Drew, we're going to turn it over to you because we know you've been patiently trying to get in, but me and Regan just took over the whole conversation.
No. There is a story, guys. I don't know if you want to hear it, but I'll tell you what it is, and you 3 decide if you want to hear it. Viking might know. I might have told him, but I did audition for Power Rangers back in the day. I never told you guys.
No, you never told us.
I didn't tell you guys.
Don't be that, Drew. I remember. That's cool, man.
Now, see, you told him. Now, see, we're going to have to talk to you about this.
Go ahead and share the story to the audience.
Okay. What happened was in Southern California, they used to do casting calls.
Right.
And you guys are familiar with the cattle casting calls, right? So they would put them in through the mail and they would be like, hey, we need X amount of kids for these shows. One of them was Power Rangers. I think it was one of the Saved by the Bell college years. And it was
that show.
There's a bunch of them on there.
I like Saved by the Bell too.
And you had to you would basically take it. Your parents would sign off on it. You would mail it in. They would confirm you with a ticket for the time and everything you're supposed to audition. You had to drive down on Sunset Boulevard at Brian O'Rotman's studio.
Oh my God, I know what that's. That's bad.
Yeah, this is where JDF got the role of the Green Ranger, and the rest of them did because they had their pictures all up in the office when you got in there. I had to wait. Oh gosh, what was it? 4 hours? Might have been longer than that because it was like every kid and the whole Southern California atmosphere was there.
Sure.
And we were all there, and we waited. My dad waited. We waited a long time, and we got up there and bright lights, and you did the audition. They had you read some lines. They had you do some martial arts, because the problem was when they did this casting call, they had a lot of kids that showed up, and the kids were just like, I like Power Rangers. And they were just like, okay, what's your name? I like Power Rangers a lot. And they're just like, you do martial arts? I like kicks. I like Power Rangers. And that's all they were getting a lot of the time, you know?
Yeah.
And so when I came, I was a little bit older. So I was like, okay, yes, my name's Drew Guess. And I did the whole thing. And, you know, and I did some martial arts for him. And they went, wow, he can do lines and he can talk and he's not freezing and he's not just Power Rangers. So they were like, oh, this is it. This is who we want. And I was like, what? And they were like, yeah, we want you. And I was like, great. And they were like, here's the trick. Agent fee. So let's see here. And they pull out the calculator and they're all in, do all that. And $10,000, you know, to represent you. And so my dad was all, whoop. And he was like, okay, that's it. We're going home. He's like, I'm not paying you $10,000 to do
Oh
that.
my gosh.
That's crazy, man.
You had to
That's
pay
crazy. On the spot.
But see, this is the same thing JDF talked about. Remember, he talked about that company that he had that tried to sue him when he got on the show, but they represented him when he cut his hair and everything. And he paid him all that money, the $10,000. He and I talked about it. I said it was Brian O'Rotman, wasn't it? He's yeah, that's the studio that wanted to represent me and
you got ties way back to this.
Yeah. So like, yeah, we talked about that. And he was like, oh man. And I was like, you were there? I said, yeah, I was there. I auditioned and they wanted you, right? I said, yeah. And they wanted $10,000. I said, yeah. And my dad said, no.
That's kind of crazy because, like, let's segue into JDF because while we got Viking here, obviously we all came together because of JDF on another show. So, I mean, I met JDF and I just basically pitched the script idea to him that he basically enlightened me that fighting with Hasbro about anything is a pain in the butt, you know, when it comes to intellectual properties and the Rangers and all that. And they clearly stole a bunch of stuff from him before. So it was an ongoing thing between them. You know what I mean? So a lot of Power Ranger fans, all this discussion kind of started over the script I handed them, which is their ninja forms, their ninjetti. I think before they go and do a reboot and give us another 2017 garbage movie, we should really look at the franchise. I've been studying it for a couple years since I opened my comic book shop. And since he died, it really inspired me to start writing to honor him, to make the right Power Ranger movie he was trying to do, you know? So I think that's why we're all here, why we were interested in kind of seeing where you were at with it, because we're going to try to really push the movement forward in the whole community, not just with JDF, but maybe Johnny Young Bosch, Steve Cardenas, you know what I mean? Some of the other Rangers, you know, book some. I have a venue I'm looking to book them at, you know, do some comic book stuff. That's kind of my realm. And I want to write. So, I mean, I got a couple script ideas. I mean, I'll give you one for free, Viking. You want a good one, man? Warriors of Virtue, bro.
See, the thing is he just brought up a good
You could do the 89 Turtles all over again and make $1 billion, bro.
He just brought up a good question that I'm going to ask you, too. How do I'm into it, whole thing. Have you done any ninja? Have you done any ninja roles, or are you interested in doing any ninja roles? Because with your martial art prowess, it could lead you to there. But is that something you're interested in? Because I love ninjas. I'm not even gonna lie, I love ninjas.
I mean, we all love ninjas, man. Like, speaking of ninjas, I've interviewed quite a few, like Stephen K. Hayes. He was that guy all the time in Black Belt magazine. He wrote all those ninjas books. He moved to Japan when he was young. He learned ninjutsu. He came back to America. He was like the face of ninjutsu, and he was even in, I believe, an advisor on the original Shogun series, which he recently brought back on Netflix.
Wow.
And yeah. So, and of course, Frank Dukes Rue. That, you know, they talk about ninjutsu and Bloodsport. So I've gotten to know all these guys. You know, funny enough, like, I'm in the Midwest. I don't live that far from Stephen K. Hayes. So I could literally do some legit ninjutsu training with him. You know, I mean, he does Toshindo now,
Yeah.
which is like kind of like an offshoot. But yeah, who wouldn't want to play a ninja, man? We all
Man,
grew up watching and loving the ninja.
Yeah, definitely.
because see,
And
I have my whole brand is ninjas. My actually, if you can hold on, my main character, I could probably put it up on the screen. He
Well,
is
I
a
mean,
ninja, and he's Ninja Son. So I basically my people are basically after the zodiac signs. All 12 of them are there, including some that are not from the zodiac signs. They're mostly stars. So I'm not gonna bore you with my stuff just yet. I'll wait till we get off your interview because this is about you, not me. So I was making about you. But I do love ninjas and I love martial arts. But knowing, like I said, knowing that ninjas are out there, would you want to play one? Is the question now that I'm gonna ask.
Sure. You know, ninjas are still badass.
bro,
Oh, well, you
I'm
did
getting
say you
super
know what?
Highlander vibes. How about Highlander? He definitely can kill like a Highlander role, man.
Man,
Like
Man,
I'm
they're
you
bringing
know.
that
Lambert,
back. They're bringing that back.
yeah,
Oh
I
wow.
think
real
what's
Bringing
ones
his
know
everything back.
about
Everything's
Highlander.
cyclical, man. Everything
Yeah,
is
oh yeah.
cyclical. That there's a reason why, like the last Kumite is going to work now, and it's going to make sense in a way, but it'll really work. Like it'll capture the audience. You know, there's a reason why I believe this is going to work. There's a
I
reason
gotta get
why,
that movie.
Oh
Highlander
I'm
yeah,
gonna
never
get
the
it.
gonna work.
nostalgia is up in all departments right now, for sure.
Oh,
Even in the fight realm,
but
I'm sure of it. Like, I mean, I think vinyl's coming back. They got tape cassettes with flash drives in it, so there's still people
That's
doing
funny.
tape. This,
Everything comes
they'll
back, man.
find a way to make nostalgia cool somehow. So
right.
it'll eventually,
And I just thought of something, Viking. When we make sure you send me your information because if your movie is on Amazon, I have a friend who's going to be promoting stuff. She has a Amazon Live now, so if your movie is there, we can actually promote it there as well. So make sure you give me your information, and I would definitely make sure she gets it, and we will do it for you.
Yeah, that'd be great, man. Because last Kumite, no, of course you can pre-order the limited edition Steelbook. They got the media book in Germany, which I think is sold out. You know, they're doing really good in
Right.
pre-sales. So, but of course, the vast majority of people will stream it, and it will be on Amazon Prime, where you can rent it or buy the digital copy. So, yeah,
Oh yeah, so we can because we got we're supposed to be doing something for Judge Joe Brown. We're doing his barbecue sauce, and we're definitely gonna make sure we get your video up there as well.
wait a minute. Judge Joe Brown
Yes,
has a barbecue sauce.
look,
Oh
Are
yeah,
you
David,
serious?
David,
yeah.
look,
We had him
he
on to
was,
Like,
talk about it. It was
he
how,
was
how
our
nice.
serious?
first guest.
you see it?
I see it. I believe it
There
now.
it
I
is.
guess.
He was our first guest.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
It's
mean,
like,
how's the barbecue sauce though?
oh, it's
We're,
really good. It's really,
we're
really good.
we're
And he could
actually
actually barbecue as well. So he made the sauce and he's a professional barbecuer, man. Judge Joe Brown's his stuff, man. So
yes, and we
I
basically
can work it out to get him on your show, Viking. No problem.
yeah, I
yes.
think we should have
He's
Viking
he's like an
double back and
interesting
talk
guy
to
for sure.
Oh,
Karen.
he's
He
coming
loved it.
back. Oh, he's coming
He should
back.
talk to Karen once we get the order on lockdown. If she needs any power for the film behind it, I mean, here he is, the Viking
We can
Samurai.
definitely make that
If
work if
he's on the
he.
order and they can kind of work something out, that adds a whole Power Ranger to the dynamic, and then it
And
changes the discussion at least,
would you be
Viking,
interested in that Viking?
yeah.
With
What
I don't think
working
he knows about the order. It's basically the order was a movie that the Power Ranger community raised funds for. I think it was a GoFundMe or an Indiegogo for a film that basically never came into fruition that all the fans donated for. And how much was it, Drew? Do you remember how much
It
the
was
film
over
made?
a
They
hundred. It
raised?
wasn't it 100,
No, I
150?
didn't. I don't think I got to that
So
much. Did
the premise of the podcast is to be the order. We're here to restore order to the Power Ranger universe. And it started with JDF's death, with Austin St. John controversy, and now we're gonna kind of switch it to Judge Joe Brown set us off, gave us the gavel. We are the order when it comes to Rangers now. So basically, I'm trying to challenge Karen Ashley because I want to be a producer, a writer, fight choreographer. That's the type of stuff that I want to be behind the camera. So I'm looking for the right people in front of the camera, behind the scenes to get the type of shit done while Disney is down, while DC is still figuring it out, there's a real chance with Power Rangers to make some money, and I think people are sleeping on it. And I'm very knowledgeable about the franchise. I've read a lot of the comic books. I think Shattered Grid is a win. If you're into the comic books, you can do an interdimensional Spider-Verse animated thing first and then segue into other avenues. I've got all types of stuff for the Rangers. If you know the content, and I really think you can have like an Infinity type saga, like Thanos level event with Drakon. And I mean, you can play Matt Cook. If I was gonna go to Hasbro right now, I'd put some copper tips in your hair, and you'd be Matt Cook if you were young enough.
And
if it works in the timeline,
your name has been coming up in this group a lot about this stuff.
Green Ranger that shows up, and basically you would replace Jason David Frank immediately if this movie popped off.
Your name has been coming
you would be
up
that guy. You would be
lot.
his direct replacement.
That'd be an honor, man. That'd be incredible.
But if they write it right, Matt Cook it's a different story. You'd almost be like him, but your own thing too, because it's a different type of timeline. He's, we could definitely get into it. But Matt Cook, if you want to Google it and look it up, if you're interested in dibble dabbling in the universe a little bit, that'd be perfect for you.
Yeah, I'll definitely look that up.
I think I sent it to you, Viking. I think I sent you the link for Matt Cook.
Yeah,
people like that, man, and you can get us a meeting at Hasbro. I think I can dance their socks off, with something.
And I would tell you, because when we were discussing bringing you on, he was like, "Oh man, he would be the perfect JDM.
All we needed was a real
Green
Ranger."
Now, when I lose some more weight, I could be the White Ranger. I could be the opposite, but I have to lose a little bit more weight if I can get in that suit.
I'm thinking Trey and Triforia. I kind of switched mine. Now that we got the Green Ranger, I'll have to switch there, Drew.
But yeah, I'm loving the conversation. But Drew, let's go ahead and get some questions from you, because I know we can have Drew. We have beat him down with questions already. So it's your turn.
Okay,
Drew's the man. Drew brought him to us, man.
No, well, where do I start with you, Viking? Because we already know each other. So
yeah,
see, the questions are for the fans. You got to, ask for the fans.
Where do we start?
Viking? Well, I have a question.
Okay,
so all that Kickstarter money that was raised, like, what happened to it?
Well, that's what the whole order is. We're trying to hold the Power Ranger community, the Power Rangers themselves, invite you in the form of this council, a jury of your peers, a Power Ranger nut jobs, and we want our movie. And we're bringing you a movie star. We're bringing you a co-sign from JDF. And I've got some Ranger clout myself, with other people, but we're trying to get as many Rangers we can, as many power coins as we can, to knock on Hasbro's door, because I don't think they're handling the franchise properly. I want to know whose job I have to take, basically.
I'll tell you the story real quick, Viking. What happened was, when they started this order, they got a bunch of Power Ranger actors from the Mighty Morphin, all the different series. They got a group of them together. They put up the Fund Me thing. People put thousands of dollars into it, right, to get it going. And they said perks like being in the movie in a small part, T-shirts, posters, stuff like that. And then apparently Union came, shut down the production, money disappeared, and nobody got anything. No posters, no T-shirts, no nothing. And it was never talked about. And it's been about what, more than 5 years now?
I can't even basically. I didn't even know about it until a couple of months ago.
I remember the trailer.
I seen the trailer, but I never knew. I didn't know if it came out. I didn't know if it got funded. I didn't know anything, because I didn't even put no money in it. I just saw it and I just went on about my business. So I'm just learning about
our angle is Henry, right? Because Henry's the king of controversy when it comes to the Rangers. So he's looking for something after ASJ to segue into something else to keep the Ranger hype going, because the reboot's coming. 224 is an off year. And Twistle and whoever's in charge is trying to figure out what they're doing before this reboot comes out. And they have another flop on $1 billion franchise. Man. So it's like, now's the time to get in there with that.
So this is where you come in, my friend. These two have been saying, "Oh, we get Viking."
And if we start pushing the right buttons and the right Rangers start popping up, they're gonna pay attention.
Yeah. So, and when you ask them about the order, Viking, they get mad. They get mad, Steve Cardenas. I just saw the email, guys. You didn't see the stream. Steve Cardenas did an email A fan asked him about the order, and he let him have the third degree about the order. Yeah.
See,
it could be some good content.
It
It could
went
be some
good.
good content. It really could. So
Man,
we'll definitely
see,
get
this
that
is why-
out of it.
I'm
See,
just
this is
like, just
why
give
I-
people back their money, hook them up with some posters, tell them
Nah,
sorry.
screw
thank
that.
them,
Make the movie.
something.
I want the movie, bro.
Yeah,
But
make
yeah,
the
we
movie.
want
That'll
the
be even
movie,
better.
but make it
Make
right
the
for
movie.
people.
Let's bring back the Ranger community. Let's set my man Viking off here. Blazing. Let's get this
I'm
done,
ready, man.
The
Man,
Rangers
see-
need it. We're all grown now. We're all in our late 30s. We need something grown. It's not a
Oh
kid's
no,
show.
you're in your late 30s. I'm in my early 40s. What are you talking about?
Yeah, we're-
A couple of-
I'm already
I'll be 44
too.
in
Still the
June.
same
Let's
generation,
not
close enough.
play.
JDF was on some be grown or die trying, you know? That's what he
Right.
was trying to do with the Power Rangers. He wanted them to grow up bad.
Right. So
we just
I
got to
mean,
get Unworthy Productions. I've emailed him.
Let's
I
do
know
it. And
you
Bat in the
emailed him,
Sun.
Ken.
Drew, we're building an army, my friend. Let's get
So-
Bat in the Sun too, bro. Let's do it. We got
But see-
Viking Samurai over here, bro. We can get Bat in the Sun.
but see,
Come
since
on,
we got
you throw
Samurai
Bat in
here,
the
he
Samurai
can,
in a Bat in the Sun video, bro.
I would like to know
Come
what
on.
part would he like to play
Superhero
if it
beatdown.
comes out and
Oh.
if we can get it done. What he would like to play, because would you like to be the villain, a hero? I mean, we know you're gonna do martial arts. That's a given. But
Have
would
you seen the White Ranger versus Scorpion stuff? On
No,
Bat in the Sun?
I
Oh.
want to see this. Because Drew and I know each other so good, and obviously he's so involved with Power Rangers in the community,
Mhm.
he would probably know the perfect role for me.
Mhm.
Like,
Okay,
Perfect
Drew.
role for you, Viking, and I'm gonna say it right now: Green Ranger all the way. We need someone to come in and rebuild the Power Rangers, and there's
Inside
no one worthy enough of that than you. I can't do it because of the multiple sclerosis. My martial arts, my fight is only got 5 seconds of a gas tank because of just how my body is. So I can't do it. Not anymore. But you've got the glow. I don't mean to quote Last Dragon, but yes, I do. You've got the glow. You've got the power to do this. You are it. You've got the personality, the look. We all saw you on the news channel. Look how naturally you are. It reminded me of when JDF.
We'll write it. We'll write it and make it work.
shows.
I think it's perfect, bro.
Yeah,
you're
I would help write the script because I am a script writer. So I would help write it, make the character good, give you a good backstory. You know, you took over.
And if you make Power Ranger work, you'll eat for life, bro. Let them sleep on it. Think it's gonna be kitty and whack and all that other stuff. Let them.
Oh no, this will be more mature. This will be a more mature Power Rangers. It won't be the kitty thing. It'll be more mature. So
yeah,
bro, I have a weapon. Let me just tell you this: I have a weapon that's never been done before. I've been studying George Lucas, like how to recreate the lightsaber without like knocking it off. Like I have a way to do it. You know,
man.
I basically I've got some things that'll make the franchise what it needs to be. So it's.
I have to say this. We brought this Viking here for an interview, and then it turned into an audition / work audition. And this man got a job already.
We're fighting for the right to party, bro. You know,
we just gave this man a job right off the bat.
They could definitely use a fresh face for the reboot. I'm up and coming. You know, I've had JDF comparisons before. People have told me, so it would be an honor.
Oh no,
I shook his hand 5 months before he died, man, and I handed him.
So
I'm telling you,
man,
from day one, I was like, this guy is meant to do some Power Ranger stuff, and Viking's dream. That's what I want to. Like I told Dave, I said, listen, you got to do this Power Ranger thing. This is for you, but it's getting to the part you want. He wants to be Ryu in a Street Fighter film and really put that out there. And
I mean, that would be huge, the Ryu character, especially with the later iterations of the game where he's got the beard.
Yeah.
I legit know a 10th degree Shotokan master too. So if they needed very authentic Shotokan karate, I could train with the best.
Oh,
you know who it is, by the way? You'll get a kick out of this.
Who is it?
Paco Prieta.
Oh,
Silvario from Only the Strong.
Oh,
such
man.
a cool guy. And he's a legit 10th degree Shotokan master. And I'm really close with him. Like, me and him are cool, you know? So I got all the guys to train with. I got the real ninja to train with in Stephen K. Hayes. I got the Shotokan guy to train with in Paco. I mean, it's crazy, man.
And Viking, you've got Ron Van Cleef.
Yeah, he's cool. I worked with him on Warrior Island.
Guys, kid, Ron Van Cleef is the guy that trained Timok.
That's
Last
true.
Dragon.
He did fight choreography in
Oh my God. Oh.
Yes. Yes. And Viking has a picture with Timok. He's met Leroy himself.
That's true. I've met so many legends in the martial arts, especially the martial arts movie world. And I worked with so many of them on the last Kumite, which was a surreal experience because I grew up watching Bloodsport like 1,000 times. And then fast forward, I'm literally fighting in the movie Kumite. And my like I always loved Jean-Claude Van Damme's style. Like, we're all inspired by people. Philip Ree was a big inspiration. Jeff Speakman, because I also have a Kenpo background. Gary Daniels, I always was impressed by. But, Steven Seagal, all these guys. But Jean-Claude Van Damme was my favorite guy growing up as far as a performer because he combined the bodybuilding, the karate, and the gracefulness because he also had that ballet background. So my character in Last Kumite, if you looked at everybody in the film, I would be the most like that character, but I kind of look more like Wolverine.
I was about to say you do kind of look like Wolverine right now.
I get that every time I'm in public. I'll get that at least once or twice a week.
Young Rogan.
I was like,
you remind me of Wolverine. I got that at the airport the other day.
I was going to say, did he Jack me do your hair today? Because the beard is bushy like Wolverine's. Did he do the hair? What is it? Because it's like you
look just conditioner like today. Hey, listen, my comic book shop is Double Dragon Comics. So Double Dragons, you find someone that looks similar to you. That was a classic.
Dude, Double Dragon. You want to hear the perfect? Like, I've always wanted to do a Double Dragon movie with my brother because people think we're twins. Like, we look pretty similar, And he's like still in great shape. Never stopped training since the early '90s either. Anyway, we're just like finding all these great roles for me on this interview, aren't we?
Street Fighter. Wait. Something with Wolverine, and then Double Dragon. 4 movies for you. We got it.
Just give me one, man. Just God bless me with one. Whether we get the Power Rangers thing going, Wolverine.
We're gonna bless you with one. We're gonna follow up with that 3 behind it.
Bro, I got enough up here, man. We'll get to the back.
We gotta do this.
We'll get there.
I'm just enthralled to have you here, and I mean, I didn't know we was gonna do a job fair for you today, but I'm just saying. But hey. I mean, all of us, we would love to have anything that we do and we write. We would love to have you in it because I do have I wrote a script about Ninja Sun. I wrote my first book, and the first book is called Ninja Sun: The Beginning. So it's technically Ninja Sun: The Awakening. And his uncle, oh my God, is destroyed. He is like the worst of the worst. He killed them in just one fight. Just one fight. He killed 18 ninjas in one fight. I would love for you to probably be him.
My word, 1 second.
If not the brother. Because Archangelus is just as good. Archangelus is one of the best martial artists, and plus he's a good swordsman. So I might have you to be him because I mean you got the look. I just need to make sure you're just the height is good because he's about 5'7", 5'8", close to I made him kind of short on purpose, because the other brother is kind of tall. So the oldest brother is about 6'1". The youngest, which is Ninja Sun, is about my height, which is 6 feet. So I made Archangelus be between 5'9", 5'10". So, but even if you're not that tall, we still gonna put you down.
That's my height. I mean, movies are always different. They could make different heights or whatever. Right. But yeah, I mean, I'm like between 5'9" and 5'10" in real life. So.
Well, you got it. So I don't even care. When I already got the script written, I just need to rewrite it and make it and do it up to date. Get the crowdfunding, and I would definitely love to put you in it.
I got a 5th project, Viking. I want you to think about it. I got. Samurai Jack. If we did a live action short thing of Samurai Jack is you as Samurai Jack fighting Aku. Everybody wanted a live action Samurai Jack. They talked about it for years. I'm telling you, if we just did a short thing, you as Samurai Jack fighting Aku, I'm telling you, it would just break the internet. People would.
Hey, how about our video game movies off limits? Remember Army of Two with the two brothers who used to shoot back to back?
Oh,
This is
yeah.
the script right here. It's right
kind
here.
of combat, kind of thing. Call of Duty vibes. Soldier-esque, like Extraction, Chris Hemsworth.
That was a cool game. I like that game back in the day.
Video game stuff can work too if we think outside the box. So the order can go everywhere, bro.
Yeah. And I mean, just having this conversation with you, I'm loving it. And with your skills and with the martial art background, man, you will fit into anything. I'm just saying.
No, we gotta get Hasbro to pick up the phone ASAP.
Man, if not, I just showed him. Here's the script right here that I'm telling y'all about. I written this like years ago. This was like maybe 50 pages. It was only because I was trying to get into the movie festival, and I really didn't have a lot of people to, everybody that I auditioned basically wanted to be paid when I didn't have a huge budget in the beginning. So I was just like, now that everything is coming to fruition, I can get a budget and I can probably put it together. So now that I do have a real martial artist, I would love to throw you the job. The job will be yours if you want it. I just got to get it together, though.
Storyboards done. Storyboards.
Oh, yeah, I got to get the storyboards done. Yeah. I mean, I got it done for something else.
It's hard to sell without that stuff,
Oh, no, I can get it done. That's not even a problem. I got the script ready. I just got my guys. They can do it for me, and I can have it done in probably like a month and a half. So,
we can get some stuff. We just got to hear from Unworthy Productions. I've been trying to get him because he would be.
Well, Henry knows him, right? Henry's connected, isn't he? He just
he knows Drew too because he shouted Drew out. And this is the funny thing: if we can get Jordan to come on here, I'm quite sure he would have something good for Viking. Look, I'm giving you another job.
I mean, how big is Bat in the Sun? I mean, Vikings at 130 something. Bat in the Sun's what? 500? I mean, are they at 1 million subscribers yet? I don't think they're that big, are they? Bat in the Sun?
I don't think so.
They were working with JDF.
I just had
I don't recall. I know the superhero beatdowns are huge, but that'd be good for you, Viking. I think personally, it'd be a small move, but those videos are like
they blow up. It definitely get attention for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna title this. I'm gonna say interview / job fair.
Van Damme did the Street Fighter thing. He had to go in the comic world a little bit too, so it worked for him.
Yeah, that was his highest paid film.
Man, this is cool.
They have 2.58 million.
Wow,
okay, so they're bigger than I thought. So they're a smaller studio. But they are a full-blown studio.
Yeah, they're kicking it up. Viking, I sent you Ryu versus the Green Ranger. JDF is in the suit. White Ryu. And JDF in the suit versus in his White Ranger suit versus Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. The two they did on that.
That's what we would want to do with you, basically.
This is what it's going to look like when you do this. And you'll see, and you'll be like, "Oh wow, okay, I got where this is going."
The Ryu one is great. The Green Ranger Ryu one is really.
Oh good. Yeah, that's a good one.
Wow. Yeah,
and this
definitely take the time. That'll give you the visual.
This is him. This is the brother Archangelus.
Okay.
So so that's the one that I was telling you about. That's the one that has the really good martial arts, and he's the one that has the he's the great swordsman. And when I tell you, I ain't even gonna say nothing else. I'm gonna let y'all see it for yourself because I got a trailer coming out for it.
Okay.
Yeah, so I got a trailer coming out, but I cannot wait to see more from you. I really cannot. With all the jobs that we gave out to you today, you will be working for a good 5 to 7 years.
What's up next after the movie you got coming out, right? How does it?
Well, you know what's up next? I'm taking off on Wednesday. To Northern California, same director as Bloodstorm to play what he calls the Alpha Commando. So I lead a squad of there's 5 of us, but I'm the Alpha of the Commandos. The other ones get killed pretty easy. but then I have an
Right.
epic showdown with the main hero. So
Nice. Big dog.
that's next on the docket. And then there's a couple different things in development. You know, I mentioned that Bay Logan film. Obviously, I got the one that I wrote. There's another film. I should send you guys some stuff on it. It's an incredible project. We're going to shoot it in Texas, most likely. It's called The Possum Kingdom, and it's a little bit like Resident Evil and Stranger Things. And if you guys are into anime, I don't know if you ever heard of a guy named Vic Mignogna.
Yes, Broly.
Huge voice actor.
Yes, he's the voice of Broly of Dragon Ball Z and a couple of and also Full Metal Alchemist.
Full Metal Alchemist. Yep.
Yes,
he's huge. He actually came to my fight in Atlantic City, by the way, as part of the entourage, walking out.
Wow.
You know, and he matched me because I was wearing black and gold, and he had his black and gold on. You know, we looked pretty good together. But anyway, we're gonna do a film called Possum Kingdom, and you know, it's a very interesting story. I could show you guys a couple of the you know, the pitch deck slides and the synopsis. I'll share with you guys later. But yeah, so those are kind of the next things. Oh, there's another project too called Order of the Dragon.
Ooh,
That's gonna be it's kind of like a martial arts Hunger Games.
Oh my god, I can't wait to see.
Sounds like a JDF movie.
Yeah,
I mean,
when you said that, I was like, it's that sounded so familiar. I was like, I think
he's gone, man. That spot is someone's to take. Those are big shoes to fill, but the next White Dragon hasn't
I got confidence. He can fill them. I mean, he would fill them and take over.
The White Dragon's gone, so that's basically.
You want to hear something crazy real quick? Two crazy things. So one with Possum Kingdom, the creator Scott in Texas is pretty close to Aaron Norris, so there is a possibility we could get Chuck Norris at least as a cameo in that film. That's possible.
Oh, wow.
Yo, a sidekick remake would be bro.
That would be
Sidekicks remake, bro. Look at the first 5 minutes of the movie when they do the white ninja suits.
Yeah, it's incredible. I love the opening of that film.
Forget about it.
Man,
and then one cool tidbit about Order of the Dragon is, well, I don't know if I want to name the guy's name. I'll just say he was one of the biggest martial arts stars in the world, and if he approves of the script, which is still being written, he said he would play a specific role that we would have, like he would be part of that project basically, and he would kind of do it more as a favor, just because I've gotten to know him, and a mutual friend knows him really well. So we will see what happens. I got to make sure the script is good enough and he approves of it. I'm not writing the script, by the way, but that could be huge. That could be huge.
If it is, you know, you got to come back here and promote it and shout it out and all that good stuff. Because we would definitely, I mean, I hope by then we won't give you no more jobs. But if this one comes good, I would love to be there.
I got him for days. Shinobi. Remember Shinobi?
Oh yeah.
It's on Shinobi.
Shinobi. I love that. Yeah, I love that game.
Video game.
Played that on the original Sega Master System, which actually Shinobi. I have my look, man. This is the one my mom.
You can make them half Caucasian. Our boys in there, like somewhere, you know.
You know what?
Oh wow, we got the Master System.
That was before the Genesis. You know what was so funny though?
That one.
Like my mom got this for me and my brother for Christmas in the 80s. It still works because I take care of my stuff. This thing still works. And all the other kids in school had the Nintendo. So there were maybe like 3 kids in school who had this. So obviously I became friends with them so I could swap games. But everybody else had Nintendo. But this is original Sega. And yes, I had Shinobi on this. And I loved it.
Let's do it, bro. Let's write it.
I had the first Nintendo. So
you could pull it off for sure.
I'm telling you, I had the first Nintendo. I didn't even know Sega existed until I turned 13. Was it 13? No. Yeah, I was in middle school when I got my first Sega Genesis.
I got the Master System in 2nd grade, the same one you just showed right there. I
got had that too. You were one of the kids, one of the few kids who had one.
Yeah, my brother got it for me, and I had Shinobi.
Sega Scope with the T2 game
and Afterburner.
Oh, Afterburner was great.
Yeah.
I had Sonic X.
Don't sleep on those video game movies, buddy. Don't sleep on those. Those are awesome.
See, those are the shorts we could do for you, David, is like Shinobi, different things like that. And people like very much like Bat in the Sun. We could do those shorts and people check you out. and it's
I
like,
want to
look,
form
we're gonna go.
like a movie
Good exposure, man.
cinematography Avengers, basically.
But if we
Like,
get the,
like,
if
all we
we
need is a
do,
nice fight choreography team, a good CGI team, and you can do some damage.
oh,
Bro.
so he'll be the
Knock
only
on some
human, but
doors,
we'll
man.
have CGI of the rest of the team.
Huh?
I said so. I said so. Samurai would be the only real human, and then we have CGI people fighting along with him as the Avengers.
No, we're behind the camera in the Avengers.
No. You said the team. He was going to be the only human, and then CGI Avengers fighting beside him. I'm just trying to make sure that I get it correct.
No.
Okay, just want
I'm
to
sure
make sure I
he'd
got
be
it
I
awesome.
correct.
could sneak in a little stunt, like very small martial arts stuff for me. See if my body can hold it for a little bit.
I mean, we
Yeah,
won't
we'll
push you
push it.
too
Why
much,
not?
but I
Because
mean,
I
I
don't
would
want
love
to
to see both
miss
of y'all
not
on
hanging
camera
out with
together.
my guy Viking Samurai. At least being able to do a little something with him. You know.
Yeah,
like,
I would love to see both of y'all
Sure.
on screen together. That would be nice to see that. So I would get working. I get working on the script, and I send it over to Rican, and he can finish it up, and we'll send it to Drew so both of y'all can. Well, I said we weren't gonna give you no more jobs, Viking, and then here I am throwing you on another one.
Hey, you're going to you put your hand in the jar. You just get to pick out of a whole bunch.
Yeah, we'll
you know?
just
call
put
me
them
when
in,
you like
all
one,
the jobs
bro,
in the
you
hat,
know?
and you just fit
That's
out
how I
one
get
of them.
down.
And just go. This was supposed to be an interview about him and his life, and we turned it into about jobs.
We touched upon it a little
Well,
bit,
he
you know.
does so much.
We did,
He
but
does
I mean,
so
I
much,
love it.
though.
I love what we've been doing. It's been so fun. I mean, I just love to talk, and I love all the camaraderie that we have here. Everybody just love martial arts, and all of us love the same thing. So it's just like good friends talking, and I love that. So I wasn't saying, I was just being funny when I say all this stuff. I was just making jokes.
Well, Viking, you could tell us about when you did the last Kumite, what it was like working with everybody. I'm sure that would be a good.
Oh yeah,
because I'm quite sure a lot of people would like to know that.
We'll wrap it up with that. I'll share a little bit of that because we're running up
we're running
an
out of
hour.
time. I'm looking at the clock. I'm looking at the clock.
Okay, so the way I describe it is, I'm sure you guys seen Last Action Hero, right?
Classic.
I felt like the kid who got the magic movie ticket and got inside the movie. Like that, there could be no better movie for me specifically than a movie fighting in the Kumite. Like that's perfect for me, honestly. It's just perfect for me because Bloodsport, I mean, I guess technically I do kind of like Lionheart more, but look, Bloodsport is still probably my favorite martial arts film. I don't necessarily consider Lionheart a true martial arts film, though it's got, fights in it. But yeah, just meeting all of them for the first time, Cynthia Rothrock, Billy Blanks, who actually I trained with a little bit,
Billy Blanks
to get me ready for that.
My mom had all the cassettes. That's crazy.
Billy Blanks is great, man. Muhammad Kisi, who played Tong Po in Kickboxer, nicest guy. Man. His brother Abdel Kisi, nicest guy. I just remember being on set. He doesn't have the best English. He mostly speaks French, so I was helping him a little bit with the English. And I had a scene with him in the movie, which was great. And I just remember, like, I'm happy to just hang out with them, make sure he's comfortable. I was getting him coffee, doing all that. I'm just thinking, dude, I'm sitting next to Attila from Lionheart. He's always the bad guy in movies. Attila in Lionheart, the Mongolian dude in The Quest. But he's the nicest guy in real life, such a sweetheart. And then Kurt McKinney from No Retreat, No Surrender. Me and him, like, we're in the movie together a lot. Like, our characters do not like each other. But in real life, we really like each other a lot, which is cool. I interviewed him recently live on my channel, but our characters do not like each other, and you'll see why. It makes sense, but he's a great guy. Matthias Hughes, the big giant German blonde dude, 6'5", 6'6", muscle dude, long hair, always the villain in these movies, those martial art movies back in the day. Nicest guy.
Oh, wow.
I honestly, everybody's so nice. So it's like, I don't want to just say it's hard to, because if I say everybody's nice, then it kind of waters that down. Like they're all so nice. They're
and
really,
I believe it. I believe it. I believe because
the thing,
right? Because when you're doing something that you love and it's a passion project, and you got other people that love the same thing you do, you can't help but ooze, happiness, joy, friendship. Now, if it was something you didn't like, I can probably see it'll be a totally different situation. But everybody loves working in movies. Everybody loves working on passion projects. You guys are martial artists. So you guys have something in common and it makes it easier to talk about. Like all of us here, we like video games. We love martial arts. We love, certain type of anime. So that brings all of us together. So you see this how we love talking to each other. I'm the biggest nerd here because I'm just is. So I can't even disguise it because when I'm talking to when I met the voice actress of Azula this past Saturday, I couldn't stop laughing. When she did the Azula voice, I could not stop laughing. I just enjoyed it. So, any last words, you guys? Because we're at our hour mark and we cannot keep Viking here. And as much as I would love to keep him here to give him more jobs, but he got to go to his real job in a minute. So, would you guys have anything else in closing remarks that y'all want to say before we let him get the last words in?
Rican, I'll let you go first.
You want me to go? Yeah. All right. Well, I appreciate you coming through for real. I definitely want you to come back and join us again. I feel like there's a whole vast of knowledge we barely tapped into, with kind of the realm and what you do, So we're basically looking to adjust the community as far as content. We want to see the right stuff get made. We're trying to be the voice of the fans, the new order of the people, as far as what goes from behind the camera to in front of the camera. If we can have any power or effect over that in the voice of the fans, fighting for the fans, that's what I'd like this show to be. So, like I said, thank you for coming on. And like I said, I'll be a fan promoting. I'm going to be watching, bro. I'm looking out for the movie, all of that. I'm going full career. So anything you need from this point, my boy Drew, I mess with these guys. So we signed up to change some stuff. So we appreciate it.
Drew, you got anything? Well, we know you two talk, but do you have anything?
Man, what can I say about my brother Viking Samurai, man? I'm just glad to be here with you. I'm glad to see you. I'm glad you're just doing well. And I told him before the movies happened, I think it was right when you were just interviewed for Last Kumite and weren't sure what was going to happen yet. I said, listen, you're going to get in that movie. And I said, your career is just going to launch out. And you have been doing nothing but nonstop projects since then. And I said, I told you, man, you got it. You got it since day one. Everybody, Scott Atkins, everybody told you got it, man. I said, you cannot pass this up. It's happening.
So my last words is
from accident, man, right?
Right. So my last words will be is I want to make sure you send me everything, your links, your to your movies, to your website, whatever you have, please send it to me because I'm gonna have my friend Renee to make sure we promote you, get your movie out there, get your trailer, whatever you want. We'll get it out there for you. Also, we would love for you to come back. Because I promise we won't have no more jobs for you. We're gonna have some fun with you, so we're gonna have no jobs. But I really appreciate you coming through, Viking. We're not gonna hold you too much more longer, guys. Please make sure to check out Viking Samurai. All of his links will be in the description. But before you go, let everybody know where they can find you at.
Oh yes, of course. YouTube, just Viking Samurai, and then on Instagram, Real Viking Samurai. So those are the two main places. Actually, I got a cool buddy of mine, Andre, in Poland, who, funny enough, okay, so he runs a Polish YouTube channel that covers very similar content to mine, but it's in Polish. And he was one of the extras on Last Kumite because we had a lot of people watching the fights live, big crowd, right? And he knew about me and said, "Hey, I watch your channel. I see you're doing the Last Kumite. Can we get a dinner sometime after we shoot? Because we were shooting all the Kumite fights in Hamburg." I was like, "Sure." So I hung out with them. We talked a bunch, obviously, about martial art movies. Funny enough, we ran into Kurt McKinney on the street. He just happened to be wandering around, in Hamburg, Germany, and snuck up behind us. But anyway, he made me an incredible website. It's just thevikingsamurai.com. Incredible website. Thank you, Andre, for doing that. So you guys could find me there too, of course. And Drew, thanks so much for inviting me on this wonderful show. It was cool to meet Canelo and Recon, and this was great, So I'll be back on, of course. Thanks for the invite.
No problem.
Hey, and it's not over yet, man. I'm gonna put you and Judge Joe Brown together when you're ready. We're gonna have you two.
He's a great man, really great and insightful as well. We got a 2-hour interview with him, a 2 hour.
Wow.
So that tells you something.
It was, and we got to get Henry connected with Viking. That's what I was telling you. We got to get
and the Power Rangers stuff.
We will work on that one. We will work on that one.
We got to have you on the stream. Think about it. Have him on the stream and be like, guys, the new up and coming Power Ranger team right here. Look at this.
Here's your Matt Cook. Thank you, Rican Ranger. Here's your Matt Cook. Thank you, Drew.
But we're gonna end it here, guys. And we want to thank Viking Samurai for giving us his time and coming on to get on our second episode of the podcast, The Order. Make sure y'all check the descriptions. We're gonna make sure all of his links are in the description. Also, go to my website because this is where y'all gonna see the full interview. You're gonna get a snippet on YouTube, but you got to go to the website, and we will be sending him a couple. We will probably see him the whole thing to put on his website too to promote him as well. So guys, check it out there, and also check out Rican and Drew's channels as well. You'll find the interviews over there too. But until then, guys, we love you all, and you guys, we're gonna see you all